Hey, shalom, 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 Yashahala and world. I'm Brother Ezekiel,
Brother Chris.
and we're here for the finale of the Most High's love versus hippie love. So we ended it last week, or excuse me, last time doing lessons on Matthew 23:13 through 39, where we're showing and prove that there is a limit of love when the Most High just says it's done and it's over with. And we showed that even with Christ, that it was, a time where he cut the love at, because after he did the miracles that the Most High allowed him to do, gave him the power to do so, that those people that seen it, those cities, they saw it, but then they turned back and went back to sinning again. So Yeshua had to go back and he had to unbraid what he did. Basically, he had to woe the places, and we broke down what woe means. Basically, he did it with anger. Okay, so to individuals who's not reading or been brainwashed with man-made doctrines, they would sit there and say, well, Christ would never do no such thing. That's not love. That's not the Christ I know. And that's not the God that I know. My God in Christ is all merciful with things, not knowing that the mercy he's giving you is tough love and, just basically tough love where you think it's not right, but it's not up to you. So the Most High is showing here, even through his son, that, hey, there's a time limit that we're cutting this off. So we're showing to prove it has nothing to do with the emotional part about it, and the doctrines that they taught of the emotional, let's just love everybody and things, it's hocus pocus. Okay, so to understand what love is and what the true love is according to the Most High is his word, just doing his will. That's what the word Torah means. Torah means instructions, direction, and doctrine. One word, no plural. Just singular. Doctrine. That's what the Torah is. So it's supposed to give you that. That's the will of the Father. So if we do his doctrine, then we're showing that we love him. And obviously he's going to show love back onto us. Even though he does love us and we still mess up with things, he still will show love onto us. But he gives us a time limit. Like, you better change or else. Okay? So, anywho, this is not going to be a long one. This is the finale and everything. So let's just get right into it. We're going to go to Zechariah chapter. You know what? I'm sorry. I take that back. We'll go to 2 Samuel chapter 16, because I was going to do a whole breakdown of basically how David showed love to his enemies, whether it was Israelites or Gentiles, or both. Okay, why it says to forgive 7 times 77, but it's not just allowed. Like, if you forgive your brother knowing that they did something wrong, and they know they did wrong, and they're really sincere about it, and they changed, then that's forgiven. But if they're not going to change, and they're going to constantly keep doing this to you and doing this and doing this to you, you got to take yourself away from that situation. Okay, so David shows so many times where he could have killed Saul. Saul was trying to kill him, and when we read into 2 Samuel, we'll show that even David's own sons was trying to kill him. Okay, so even David had times where he could have killed Saul with no issue. He snuck up on him so quietly and cut off a piece of his garment and stuff, just to let him know, hey, you would have been dead. And he had plenty of opportunities to do so. So why didn't David do it? Because he knew the law. He knew not to have a grudge against his brother, where it says, Leviticus 19:17 through 19, about not holding a grudge against your brothers, not having a wicked eye towards them, and showing love, loving thy neighbor as thyself. So he had the laws in him. Okay, but anyways, 2 Samuel chapter 16, and we'll start at verse 5. So, like I said, I would have brought that out, but you guys could read it for yourselves when that time comes. You know, you can read it in First Kings, or excuse me, First Samuel's. You can read all that, what all happened all the way up until the end of Second Samuel and stuff. But I'm not gonna go through all of it. But anyways, you read it for yourself. You'll see what I was talking about. 2 Samuel 16 and verse 5. All right.
2 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 5 says, "O King David came to Bahum. Behold, thence came out of a man, a family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, and the son of Gera. He came forth and cursed still as he came."
So you got Shimei. He came and he was cursing David when he was walking past. This is the king he's cursing. And this is the son of King Saul. So he came out cursing him. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. Go ahead.
And he cast stones at David and at all the servants of the King David.
Now, hold on a second. It says he cast stones at David, but it never hit him. Okay, it doesn't say it hit him. The reason why I'm saying this is because I'm tying that back in to turn the other cheek. Okay, you're sitting here protecting yourself. Yeshua never told you to just let somebody beat you and stuff. That was a parable talking about not letting somebody offend you. Okay, so, and we already broke that down in Luke where it says, when he says, now it's time for you to go sell all your garments and buy a sword, not one but two. Okay, so he wasn't about letting somebody just do harm to you and beat the heck out of you. Okay, as we see here, it never hit any of the servants or himself. All right, so continue.
So he cast stones at David and all the servants of King David. And all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. And thus said Shimei, when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial. The Most High hath returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Shaul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. And the Most High hath delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom, thy son, and behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man.
Now, he actually was speaking the truth here. So the understanding with this, too, is you have to be mindful of what's coming at you. You have to be conscious of what's going on. Okay? David's going to show why he was conscious of what's going on, because obviously somebody coming out to curse the king, the actual king. All he got to do is point and you're dead. But why didn't David do that? Let's see.
Then said Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, unto the king, why should thou, this dead dog, curse my lord the king? Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head.
See? He was ready to go right at the instant. Go ahead. Take his head off. And it would have been not an issue. Okay? But let's see what David said. Go ahead.
And the king said, what have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because the Most High has said unto him, curse David.
Say what?
And the Most High has said unto him, curse David.
Because the Most High has said unto him, curse David. They don't know what the Most High had told him, especially when he did the wickedness that he did. Okay? When he committed adultery, coveted, so forth and so on. Had a man murder, so forth and so on. Okay? David knew this. Because, what's his name? Nathan, the prophet, came on to David and told him back in 2 Samuel Chapter 12, when it says when he basically spoke the parable to David. Okay? But go ahead, Elder. Verse 10.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Who shall say, wherefore hast thou done so? And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, behold, my son, which came forth of my bowels seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone and let him curse, for the Most High hath bidden him.
See? So leave him alone. Let him do what he's doing. The Most High is allowing him to do this for a reason. He's putting the business all out there on Front Street. Okay? Because what David did was something in secret. Because if he would have did that with witnesses and stuff, according to the law, you're supposed to be put to death for what you did. Okay? But there was no witnesses of what went on David's behalf and things. Okay? So, there's that's why we're trying to understand, like, why did the Most High allow him to live when he did this wickedness? But the point is, even though he did the wickedness, he never went back to doing it again. That's changing. That's real repentance. Okay? Well, go ahead, Elder.
Verse 12. It may be that the Most High will look on mine affliction, and that the Most High will requite me good for this cursing this day. And as David and his men went by the way, Shimei went along on the hillside over against him and cursed as he went and threw stones at him and cast dust.
See, and David said, it may be that the Most High will look on my affliction and that the Most High will requite good for his cursing this day. So let it alone. The Most High will take care of that. Okay? That's what he's gonna do. That's his test right there. Okay? That's his trial right there. Mm-hmm. Leave him be. The Most High will deal with him and stuff. If he don't deal with him, I deserve what he's saying. Okay? It's like in life, if you have certain situations with individuals and stuff, you don't know if it's for, chastisement for yourself from the Most High, something may be weak in you, or whatever the case may be, but don't let it drag you down. Go on and pray about it and then let it go. If that person or whatever may continue to keep doing what they're doing, let them keep doing it. Because soon enough, like as the other nations were supposed to afflict us, they was only supposed to afflict us to a certain extent. But they went way overboard with it. Beyond measurement. Okay? So you don't want to fall into that trap like how the other nations has been doing to our people and to other nations as well. Okay? So just give you a heads up on that. But go ahead, Elder.
Verse 14. And the king and all the people that were with him came weary and refreshed themselves there. And Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. And it came to pass, when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was coming to Absalom, that Hushai said unto Absalom, the Most High saved the king. The Most High saved the king. And Absalom said to Hushai, is this thy kindness to thy friend? Why wentest thou not with thy friend? And Hushai said unto Absalom, nay, but whom the Most High and his people and all the men of Israel chose, his will I be, and with him will I abide.
See, even if your own friend, the fact this is another right here. This is another showing of who do you follow? Do you? If you really love your friends and stuff, are you going to tell them lies and only allow them to hear what they want to hear because it's they only want to hear what you have to say, or want to hear what you what's the word I'm looking for? They want you to say what they want to hear. They don't want you to say what they don't want to hear.
Tickle the ear.
Right. That's right, Elder. Total. And that's the thing. Tickling their ears and stuff, because in this walk, you can't be tickling the ear. Then what love you have for your own friend or your brother and sister if they doing wrong, or you see some correction needs to be. If you continue to let them keep going and, doing what they doing in sin or whatever. How's that love? How can you show it if you're not going to be faithful to the king that's supposed to be on his way? As far as right now, our only king is the Most High. So if you ain't gonna be faithful to the Most High, then who are you really putting over you then? This goes all the way back to when Samuel told Saul back in 1 Samuel 15 about killing all the what was it? Yeah, but I'm trying to think of the nation. He said, anyways, they were supposed to kill all of those, and they ended up bringing the king and taking the spoil and stuff. And he said, I did all this because I fear the people. And you're supposed to be fearing the Most High. So right now we don't have a king over us. The Most High is our king. So we're supposed to follow what he says, and he's supposed to be the king over us, not allowing your friends to be kings over you. No matter how good of a friendship you have. Nah, you love the Most High more. Okay? But continue, Elder.
Verse 19. And again, who shall I serve? Shall I not serve in the presence of his son? As I have served in thy father's presence, so will I be in thy presence. Then said Absalom to Ahithophel, give counsel among you what we should do. And Ahithophel said to Absalom, go in thy father's concubines, which he had left to keep the house.
That was wicked.
And all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father. Then shall the hands of all that are with thee be strong.
See, he told him wicked. That was wicked counsel. This is why Absalom was going to fall. Well, not just this, but he went in, he took the counsel to go in onto his concubines, his dad's concubines. Somebody he probably already went into, had sex with. Okay? That's against the law. That's against Torah. Okay? But continue, Ellen.
Verse 22. So they spread Absalom a tent up on the top of the house, and Absalom went into his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel.
He went into all the concubines, plural. He didn't go into one. He went into all of them. That was super wicked. You see? But go ahead, Elder.
And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had acquired at the oracle of the Most High. So was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom.
So, check this. So now, he did this deed that he shouldn't have done. Now we'll see. Well, you can read the rest of the chapters all the way up to where we're going to get at to Samuel 19. But all the stuff that Absalom was doing, he was coming after to kill his dad, David. Okay? But even when you see, David still wouldn't kill his son. He wouldn't do it, despite the fact that he did all those things. And the whole purpose is, the reason why he didn't do that is because the Most High forgave David for what he did. Okay? So, talking about being a judger and stuff and righteousness and things. Nah. You can't be the hypocrite in something that you did. You went in onto another white man's wife, and here it is, your son went on to your concubines, which is basically his wives. So you didn't get put to death for that. So why should you put your son to death? It's probably what David was thinking. I'm just saying, I don't know. I hate to assume. I'm just, thinking in that case. Okay. But let's jump to 2 Samuel chapter 19. And we'll start at verse 6 through 23.
2 Samuel 19 chapter, verse 6. It says,
as a matter of fact, wait a second. Sorry, Slaki.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We'll start at verse 1. We'll start at verse 1.
Verse 1?
Yeah, to 23. And everybody can somewhat get the gist of what's being done.
2 Samuel 19 chapter, verse 1. And it was told Joab, behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom. And the victory that day was turned into mourning unto all the people, for the people here say that day how the king was grieved for his son. And the people got them by stealth that day into the city, as the people being ashamed, still away when they flee in battle. But the king covered his face, and the king cried with a loud voice, "Oh, my son Absalom, oh, Absalom, my son, my son."
So, when you read what happened, basically, Absalom was, because the battle was, it was turning against him completely. And Absalom went running away, basically, and what happened was vines were hanging down or whatever, and the vines caught him up by the neck. and it was strangling him and stuff. And it was one of David's servants that tracked him down basically and put the finishing blow on him. So he wasn't dead yet, but by that servant hand, when David told him, don't do this, they did it anyways. Okay? So this is why, David is mourning, because he didn't want to kill his son. He didn't want to fight his son. He didn't want to fight really nobody. Okay? But it came out to doing this, he had one of them headstrong servants that's just like even went past what the king commanded. And this is what a lot of Israelites do today when it comes to the Most High's word. You're trying to go past beyond the king what the Most High said to only do and what not to do. And yet you go past it because you got to be God. Okay? Just for the people's sake, or, so people could like you or whatever. But anyways, go ahead.
Verse 5. And Joab came into the house to the king and said, Thou hast shamed this day the faces of all thy servants, which this day have saved thy life, and the lives of thy sons and of thy daughters, and the lives of thy wives, and the lives of thy concubines. That thou lovest thine enemies, thou hatest thy friends. But thou hast declared this day that thou regardest neither princesses nor servants. For this day I perceive that if Absalom had lived, and all we had died this day, then it had pleased thee well. Now, therefore, arise, go forth, and speak comfortably unto thy fervent servants. For I swear by the Most High, if thou go not forth, there will not tarry one with thee this night, and that will be worse unto thee than all the evil that befall thee from thy youth until now. Then the king arose and sat in the gate, and they told unto the people, saying, Behold, the king doth sit in the gate. And all the people came before the king, for Israel had fled every man to his tent. And all the people were at strife throughout all the land, the tribes of Israel, saying, The king saved us out of the hand of our enemies, and delivered us out of the hands of the Philistines. And now he is fled out of the land for Absalom. And Absalom, who we anointed over us, is dead in battle. Now therefore, why speak ye not a word of bringing the king back? And King David sent to Zadok and to Abiathar, the priests, saying, Speak unto the elders of Judah, saying, Why are ye the last to bring the king back to his house? Seeing the speech of all Israel is come unto the king, even to his house. Ye are my brethren, ye are my bones and my flesh. Wherefore, when ye are the last to bring back the king? And say ye to Amasa, Art thou not of my bone and of my flesh? The Most High do so to me. And more also, if thou be not captain of the host before me continually in the room of Joab. And he bowed the heart of all the men of Judah, even as the heart of one man, so that they sent his word unto the king, Return thou and all thy servants. So the king returned and came to Jordan, and Judah came to Gilgal, to go to meet the king, to conduct the king over Jordan. And Shimei, the son of Gera, a Benjamite, which was of Bahurim, hasted and came down with the men of Judah to meet King David. And there were 1,000 men of Benjamin with him, and Ziba, the servant of the house of Saul, and his 15 sons and his 20 servants with him. And they went over Jordan before the king. And there went over a ferry boat to carry over the king's household, and to do what he thought good. And Shimei, the son of Gera, fell down before the king as he came over Jordan, and said unto the king, Let not my lord impute iniquity unto me, neither do thou remember that which thy servant did perversely the day that my lord the king went out of Jerusalem, that the king should take it to his heart.
See, now this is the same man that was throwing stones at him and cursing him.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been dead a long time ago. Well, back when he was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But as shown that the king showed him forgiveness and didn't kill him and stuff, he brought all these Benjamites down that really wasn't trying to mess with King David because of what happened to Saul. Okay? Because this is still Saul's son, or, family and stuff. And he came down and he bowed before the king and was asking him for forgiveness and things for what he did. Here's another test. So, showing to prove that David was showing forgiveness onto his enemy or his own brethren. Okay? But go ahead, Elder.
For thy servant doth know that I have sinned. Therefore, behold, I am come the first this day of all the house of Joseph to go down to meet my lord the king. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, answered and said, Shall not Shimei be put to death for this, because he cursed the Lord's anointed?
See, second time. So he's getting tested again. Hey, shouldn't we put dude to death? Because, he did what he did and stuff. This is the second time. Let's see what David says.
And David said, What about to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah, that ye should this day be adversaries unto me? Shall there be any man put to death this day in Israel? For do not I know that I am this day king over Israel? Therefore the king said to Shimei, Thou shalt not die. And the king sware unto him.
And the king swore unto him. See? So this is why you have to put things in check and in order. You have to, you have to say something. If you don't say nothing, then things just going to go out of order. But at least if you said something about it, then it's not going to go unchecked. Because now it's up to that individual to get themselves in order. And if they don't, the Most High will either put them in order or move them around. Okay? So David got tested a lot of times here, showing to prove that you just need to show forgiveness, and that's love. You had somebody trying to kill you. Not once. As a matter of fact, David had a lot of Israelites trying to kill him. Okay? He had kings trying to kill him of our own, and then his own son, other nations and stuff. Man.
So?
Right. It's just, dude, David showed it. This is what the Mashiach was speaking of. Okay? Showing forgiveness. And as him showing forgiveness, it showed and proved that he came back knowing he did wrong. And he asked for forgiveness for what he done. Okay? So that's showing love. So the Torah was right there. David dealt with the Torah. He dealt with righteous scales. Showing and proved. I did X, Y, and Z. To cause all this sin. I don't go back to it. Now I have this situation where I was forgiving my sins. Here it is. People were doing stuff to me to take me on out. I should forgive them for their sins. So when you read the New Testament and the Mashiach says he forgives somebody of their sins and stuff, and the Pharisee says, who is this man to say that he can forgive sins? Just like my Old Testament brothers and sisters, somebody can forgive you for your sins, and these men ain't priests. So they forgave them each other of their own sins or their offenses. Okay? So just give you hope it's a clear understanding with that. Let's jump now, since we got that out the way and we showed and proved through examples, even through the Mashiach and everything. Let's jump back to some of the prophets and stuff and just show and prove how the Most High, or how we're supposed to show love to him. So let's go to Zechariah 8. Salakia, y'all. 1 second. Oh, that's Michael. Oh, Malachi. Okay. Zechariah 8 and 16.
Zechariah 8th chapter and the 16th verse. And it says, These are the things which ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against your neighbor. And love no false oath. For all these things that I hate, saith the Most High.
See, so even right here, with Zechariah was explaining this, we just showed and proved. And the last part says, These are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth, which is the Torah, and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oath. For all these things that I hate, saith the Most High. So, if you do those things, then the Most High hates you. He hates what you're doing because it's going against his will, which is the Torah. Okay? And we just showed and proved through King David how he showed and proved that. Okay? The example, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's jump to Malachi 1 and verse 1 through 14. Just to show and prove like why it's important to do the Torah and to guard it and to keep it, so therefore the Most High will love you and show his love to you. Because you have individuals out here, as we see, who go against that. And he just said it. Those that do opposite of what I asked, I hate that. So he says, I hate. Okay? So the love runs out right there. Okay? You need to continually to keep giving the Most High love. Okay? So he doesn't turn his face away from you or mark you as the terror or the goats, you know. So, anywho, but go ahead.
Malachi, the 1st chapter.
Yep.
And verse 1. And it says, The burden of the word of the Most High to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, said the Most High. Yet ye say, Wherein have you loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Said the Most High. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
So the Most High said, I have loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. So are we still talking about the same God here? Or to some Christians who believe this is Jesus talking, Jesus says...
No, it's the Old Testament. So
he doesn't love... Yeah, right.
Until after.
Yeah, he doesn't
God
love...
changed his mind.
Right, so if Jesus is through the whole the Old Testament, then he's saying out of his own words that I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, Wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord, yet I love Jacob? Or I should say, maybe I should read it this way. I have loved you, saith the Christ, yet ye say, Wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Christ? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So, I thought Christ doesn't hate. And we already read it from his own mouth that he woe places because he hated what they did. Okay? So, where's the love with that? You know? This ain't no, me making some stuff up. This is actually what the text says, okay? This is what he said out of his own mouth, okay? But I'm just saying that for Christians that still watch this because we know this is the Most High talking through the messenger and so forth and so on, okay? But anywho, go ahead, Elder.
Verse 4. Whereas Edom said, We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Most High of hosts, They shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of the wickedness, and the people against whom the Most High hath indignation forever. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, The Most High will be magnified from the border of Israel. A son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is my honor? And if I be a master, where is my fear? said the Most High of hosts unto you, O priests that despise my name. And ye say, wherein have we despised thy name?
See, so basically this is talking about the priests, the sons of Aaron, who basically fell off, that were doing most wicked stuff and things. And they're even saying, where did we fall off? Where's our sin at? We ain't done no sin. But the fact that we're saying here, even the Most High even says, I'm your father. So when in the New Testament, when the Mashiach refers to the Most High as Father, he was saying it correctly. Okay? So for my Old Testament brothers and sisters out there, we call the Most High Abba. We'll say his name, but I wouldn't want to call him by his name in a sense, because I don't even call my own dad by his first name. I wouldn't say that. That's disrespectful. Okay? So, but still, I pray to the Most High, Ahia, or if y'all want to say Yah, or Yahuwah, or Yahweh, you know, that's fine then, okay? But I pray to the Most High that way. I don't pray to Christ, all right? But anyways, go ahead.
Verse 7. Ye offer polluted bread upon mine altar, and ye say, wherein have you polluted thee? Have we polluted thee? And that ye say the table of the Most High is contemptible. And if you offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? And if you offer the lame and sick, is it not evil? Offer it now unto thy governor. And will he be pleased with thee, or accept thy person? Said the Most High of hosts.
So the Most High is telling you, like, yo, all this wickedness you doing, you literally defiling the altar. And the bread that they put on there was leavened bread. Okay, the goats, the lambs, you know, the cattle, they were lame. They had blemishes in them. That's forbidden. Okay.
Leviticus 21,
Yep.
16, and now.
Yeah, see? This is why it's so important to know the Torah. Okay? And the Most High is saying this, well, if you take that to the governor and see what they say. See if they ain't going to accept it. They probably put you to death. You see? But folks, this goes into everything today. This shows and proves. This is why the Most High hates when this stuff happens. There's not love for that. But he's showing and prove that he's giving you love. He's giving you a chance to grace, which is repent from that. Stop doing it. In Israel today. But a lot of people don't want to. They want to continue dealing with the cycles that they deal with. And this is why things don't happen. And there's actually a scripture in, I think it's a Tobit or Second Esdras. It was speaking of, I mean, it's in the Old Testament too, but it was speaking of how, you know, cats think they're doing good. They really think they're doing good, and they think they're getting blessed because they're receiving much victuals. So victuals is, you know, basically, you know, anything. It could be material stuff, whatever. Yeah, and here it is. They believe it's all good and not knowing that they're all doing wicked. And once again, that falls into the reprobated mind, which I've explained. People are running around in the wilderness in their own mind, in the desert for 40 years. They're not going to turn from it until they die out. That's a reprobated mind. And we have a lot of cats in Israel today that do that. A whole bunch. They think it's going good and stuff, but yet they're doing so much wickedness, and oh my goodness, they're polluting the heck out of it. It's
getting worse.
It's getting really worse. I literally heard, and I even have the video. I literally heard that a specific group of Israelites are doing a basketball game tournament fundraiser on the Feast of Tabernacle. What the hell does a basketball game has to do with the Feast of Tabernacle? This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what the scriptures are speaking of. They're going to sit there and say, what sin have we done? We kept the 10. But the Most High said, according to the Torah, don't pollute none of my Sabbath days or my holy feast days. But you guys are creating a basketball game, a basketball tournament on the Feast of Tabernacle. And what we seen before years ago, you're doing dances and stuff on the Passover, hat tricks and things. What does that have to do with the Most High bringing us out of the land of Egypt with a strong hand, parting the Red Sea for us to go over into the land, into Israel, and crossing the Jordan and going into Israel? What does doing hat tricks or whatever the case may be that you guys do on these feast days, on the holy feast days? What does that have anything to do with the Most High's feast days? You're polluting it. Just like the majority of these cats out here, they're polluting the word on purpose. And they're conscious of what they're doing. It's one thing when you don't know and you're doing it, and then you find out that you were doing wrong, you switch up. But it's another thing when you know and you purposely do it, you're conscious about it, and all the people are following you.
Sounds like church all over.
It is. I'm going to show y'all the video on the too. But continue, Elder.
Verse 9. And now I pray you, beseech the Most High, that who will be gracious unto us. This hath been by your means. Will you regard your persons, said the Most High of hosts? Who is there even among you that will shut the doors for naught? Neither do ye kindle fire on mine altar for naught. I have no pleasure in you, said the Most High of hosts, neither will I accept your offering at your hand. For from the rising of the sun even until the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles.
They should be great amongst who?
Among the Gentiles.
Amongst the Gentiles. Go ahead.
And in every place incense shall be offered to my name, and a pure offering for my name shall be great among the heathen, said the Most High of hosts.
Wait a second. So everything they doing in Israel, the Most High is allowing them to do it because they're actually trying to follow instructions in a certain extent. So now you wonder why you're getting all bent out of shape when you see other nations doing our stuff better than us. It's because you don't want to come back and follow it. And yet, another thing, you're taking their books, their scholars and stuff, their books, and I mean the spirituality books and all this other stuff. You're following that when we don't need that stuff. You have the instruction right here. That's what Torah is. We don't need no other books out there to know our God. And a lot of y'all incorporated those so-called spirituality books into the scriptures to make it one, when you didn't need to do anything like that. You're just doing it just to puff up your own chest and your own head with knowledge that you don't even need. All knowledge isn't good knowledge. I'm actually, like I said, I'm going to do a lesson on too about, I'm going to name it. Majority of Israel have became the new Eve. Because you're constantly eating every fruit that's forbidden out here that you think is good, but yet you refuse the one that can save your life. And I've said this in other videos or lessons before. But I'm gonna do a lesson on that too as well. Because I found out that this is boring. This is boring. It needs to be amped up. It has to be spiced up. It needs more flavor to it. And then you figure out why you be going through certain things that you do go through and stuff, and you be trying to call on to the Father, and then He don't answer you and things. He doesn't help you or whatever. Now you want to give up on Him completely because you're polluting His word. This is a fine example right here through these scriptures that we're reading right now. That they done all this wickedness. The priests did all this wickedness on his altar and sat there and said, what sin did we do? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Well, go ahead, Elder.
Verse 12. But ye have profaned it, and that ye say, the table of the Father is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even his meat, is contemptible. Ye said also, behold, what a weariness is it, and ye have snuffed at it, said the Most High of hosts, and ye brought that which was torn and lame and the sick. Thus ye brought an offering. Shall I accept this of your hand, said the Most High? But cursed be the deceiver, which hath in his flock a male, and voweth the sacrifices unto the Most High, a corruptible thing. For I am a great king, said the Most High of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen.
So, just showing and prove to you right there that you're still doing it till this day. So, the only people you can be bad at is yourself. You can only point to self and blame self. Because you refuse to do what the Most High is asking you to do. Until today. Which is refusing to show love unto Him. Keep His word. His word was plain and simple to us. But you have to add all this other stuff on here to make it more better. Because you don't think the words is good enough. Y'all should slap yourselves for that. Seriously. I mean, really stop to think about how the Most High is feeling when you do these things. Take into consideration of what He's going through. For He made us. Not we made Him. And you got the audacity to be like His word is born. Anyways, let's continue. Let's go to Nehemiah 1 and 5, just to show them still, just keep the laws, keep the Torah. Just like what the Mashiach did, he told everybody to do. So I said Nehemiah 1, yeah.
Nehemiah 1 and 5?
Yes, sir.
The book of Nehemiah, the first chapter, and verse 5. And it says, And said, I beseech thee, O Father of heaven, the great and terrible King, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and obey his commandments.
Observe his commandments. So, right here, again, Nehemiah is letting you know that the Most High is saying that keeping covenant and mercy for them, and it said, I beseech thee, O Most High, Ahia of heaven, or Most High Elohim of heaven, the great and terrible power, Elohim, that keepeth covenants, meaning he keeps his word, his promises, and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. So, he has love for you if you continue to keep doing this. But if you're not going to do it, then why should he love you? What's the point? Like I said, you should be cast out. You should be, used for the furnace. As a matter of fact, continue, Elder.
Verse 6. Let thy ear now be attentive, and thy eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which ye have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments, which thou commandest thy servant Moses. Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, If you transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. But if you turn unto me, and keep my commandments and do them, though there were of you cast out of the uttermost part of heaven, yet will I gather them from thence, and will bring them into peace and the place that I have chosen to set my name there. Now these are the servants and thy people whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and by thy strong hand. O Father, I beseech thee, let now thine ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant, and to the prayer of thy servants, who desire to fear thy name, and prosper. I pray thee, thy servant, this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man, for I was the king's cupbearer.
So, showing and prove, Nehemiah is saying that they did corrupted. Their fathers did corrupted in things they sinned. Now he's praying and begging unto the Father, please have forgiveness on me. I'm willing to turn back to you and do what's right. Okay? Excuse me. So these are examples that you should take into considerations that you know you be messing up. And if you don't know, you need to read the instruction book to find out what errors you're doing. So you could turn back onto the Father. So the Father could actually give you things and show his love and mercy on you. And be like, okay, you messed up. All right, I believe that you're going to turn. I can see it. You may not see it right now, but I believe it. You're going to work towards it and stuff. Done deal. Okay? Don't do it again. All right? So that's what we need to be doing as well. But anyways, let's jump to Psalms 119 and verse 140 through 176. Okay. 40.
140?
Yeah.
Psalms, Song of Psalms, 140. And it says, thy word is very pure, therefore thy servant loveth it.
So, thy word is very pure, therefore thy servant loveth it. So it's pure. It's fine the way it is. It's, was that unadulterated? Basically just, well, another word for pure.
Raw.
Raw, yeah, raw, uncut, straight to the point. Undefiled, there you go. So it's pure. Your servant will love it. So a lot of y'all that infuse these other books and so-called spirituality books and things with the scriptures, you ain't a servant. And I'm gonna say that because I stand firm on this. You claim you're a servant, but like I said, it's all lip service. Okay, but go ahead, Elder.
I am despised, yet do not I regret thy precepts. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Trouble and anguish have taken hold on me, yet thy covenants are my delights. The righteousness of thy testimonies is everlasting, giving me understanding, and I shall live.
Listen to what David is writing here. You see how much love he got for him? how appreciative he is about the Most High's word, about his Torah and everything, because he's speaking the Torah right here. That's the same mindset and the same attitude that you should have. You don't need no other books out here to explain that. All you got to do is pick it up and read it. Pray to the Most High, ask for understanding and stuff. Well, go ahead, Elder.
I cried with my whole heart, hear me, O Father, I will keep thy statutes. I cried unto thee, save me, and I shall keep thy testimonies.
And this ain't people just praying for just the heat of the moment and stuff because you feeling a certain way and then turn around, now you're back to doing the same old crap again. It don't work like that. When you pray unto the Most High, you really got to do these things. He'll uphold his part 100% without fail. But it's you who will make it, who won't uphold yours. And trust me, he'll come knocking on that door for you. You should be happy and blessed that he is doing that. Okay, but go ahead, Elder.
I prevented the dawning of the morning and cried, I hope in thy word. Mine eyes prevent the night watches, that I might meditate in thy word. Hear my voice according to thy loving kindness, O Father. Quicken me according to thy judgment. They draw nigh that follow after mischief. They are far from thy law.
They are what?
They are far from thy law.
They are far from thy law. Because you distracted by all this other crap out here and what's going on instead of staying focused and meditating on this. This is why you guys go through the situations that you do go through. This is why you're not healed. This is why your children's out of order or you know, well, I shouldn't say that because everybody makes their own choices, but still, you know, you have folks just really is not focused on it like that. Not a lot. Okay? But go ahead, Elder.
Verse 151. Thou art near, O Father, and thy commandments are truth. Concerning thy testimonies I have known of old, that thou hast founded them forever. Consider mine affliction and deliver me, for I do not forget thy law. Plead my cause and deliver me. Quicken me according to thy word. Salvation is far from the wicked, and they seek not thy statutes.
Facts.
Great are thy tender mercies, O Father. Quicken me according to thy judgments. Many are the persecutors and mine enemies, yet do I not decline from thy testimonies. I behold the transgressors and was grieved, because they kept not thy word. Consider how I love thy precepts. Quicken me, O Father, according to thy loving kindness. Thy word is true from the beginning, and every one of thy righteous judgment endureth forever. Princesses have persecuted me without cause, but my heart standeth in awe of thy word. I rejoice of thy word as one that findeth great spoil. I hate and abhor lying, but thy law do I love.
That's like winning the lottery. You win the lottery, so you're going to be, ah! You should be like that over the Most High's word. Just, well, the Torah, I should say. Well, and the whole thing, but I'm just saying, this is what David's speaking on, is his Torah. But go ahead, Elder.
Verse 164. 7 times do I praise thee because of thy righteous judgment. Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them.
The comforter right there. The word will comfort you.
Yep. Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. That's why you open up the book, you got peace. You have peace. Everything that you've been dealing with goes right out the window. You ain't even thinking about it no more. Okay? That's why when you read the stuff, you get the image burned into your mind. So when time does get hard, you could think back on that and be like, nah, I'm good. Abba got me. He got me. Go ahead.
166. Father, I have hope for thy salvation and done thy commandments. My soul hath kept thy testimonies, and I love them exceedingly. I have kept thy precepts and thy testimonies, for all my ways are before thee. Let my cry come near before thee, O Father. Give me understanding according to thy word. Let my supplication come before thee. Deliver me according to thy word. My lips shall utter praise when thou hast taught me thy statutes. My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all the commandments are righteousness. Let thine hand help me, for I have chosen thy precepts.
Commandments.
I have chosen thy precepts. I have longed for thy salvation, O Father, and thy law is my delight. Let my soul live, and it shall praise thee, and let thy judgments help me. I have gone astray like a lost sheep. Seek thy servants, for I do not forget thy commandments.
It says, and let thy judgments help me. That means when you do wrong, there's a judgment on it. He's asking, okay, let that correct me. Okay? Don't hold back the correction from me. Because if you hold back a correction from you, then the Father doesn't love you. It's like it tells in Proverbs. Hold back not thy correction or chastisement from your children. Beat them. Okay? But, you know, CPS probably watching this and I might get put in jail.
Big 6 scandal traffic thing going on.
Right. All right, the last 2 chapters, and that'll be it. Ecclesiastes Chapter 1 and verse 15. It is going to be it, man. It is. Oops.
Ecclesiastes or Ecclesiastes?
Ecclesiastes, right after Proverbs, yeah. Chapter, what did I say? 1 and verse 15.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 15 says, "That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered."
What we're getting at, when we read about what David written in those songs, there's no, the servants of the Most High who claim they're servants, they're wicked. You cannot straighten them. No matter what you say or what you do, they're going to be crooked. You cannot straighten a crooked thing. Okay? So you have to cut it. Let it go. If people are going to act like that or be like that, let them be like that. Move around. And if it's individuals in your home and things or family members and stuff, trust me, the Most High will move them away from you. Okay? So, like you said, a crooked, 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. And basically wanting. This is basically talk about, too, people who are not satisfied. Nothing that you could do for people can satisfy them. They're not going to be satisfied. There's scriptures on that talks about a dog forever eating and eating and eating and eating and eating.
Gluttonous.
And it's not satisfied. You could do so much for somebody and stuff, and if they're not satisfied with it, what else can you do? So the Most High is just saying, I gave you my laws. I gave you life. First and foremost, I gave you the heavens. I gave you the earth. I gave you everything in the land. I gave you water. I've given you angels. And I created y'all. What more else do you want? And I gave you laws. And I gave you my word that I'm going to protect you if you but follow me and keep my Torah.
And his son. So he can come back.
Right, and his son. But you need more and more and more and more and more. It's not enough. Somebody made a meme the other day real quick. It's on Facebook, and I know I don't care. I get lashed for this or whatever from the women, but somebody put a meme up saying that, man, what makes you think if you can't, the Most High, they said God gave this woman everything, and she still wasn't pleased. So what makes you think you could please her? I was like, damn. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, I need to say this picture. Because it's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. That's what men too. Okay, so nobody thinks I'm some male chauvinist. Okay? But anyways, let's get Ecclesiastes Chapter 10, and then that's it.
The book of Ecclesiastes in chapter 10.
You hold that right there. I'm gonna read this back. I'm gonna go back to chapter 1. I'm gonna finish reading verse 16 down to 18. It says, "I communed with my own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge, and I gave my heart to know wisdom, and to know madness and folly. And I perceive that this also is vexation of the spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increases knowledge increases sorrow." Mm-hmm. Okay, but all right, go ahead, Elder.
Verse 10. Dead fly. Ecclesiastes 10.
Oh, yeah, chapter 10, verse 1. Okay, not bad.
Verse 1 said, "Dead flies cause the anointed of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. So doth a little folly him that is reputation for wisdom and honor." So,
if you just seeking reputation, if you just getting wisdom and what did it say? Wisdom and honor.
Reputation. Dead flies cause the
so do a little folly him that is in reputation.
reputation
And
for
honor.
wisdom and honor.
Yeah, so basically saying, listen, you're just doing all this just to get a like and stuff from people or people to follow you and stuff. Here it is. You got following you already because you're not doing it for the Most High. You're doing it for self. That's folly.
Or to go against somebody else.
Right. So he says it's like flies. But anyways, go ahead, Elder.
Verse 2, a wise man's heart is at the right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. Yea, also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him. And he said to everyone that he is a fool. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place, for yielding pacified great offenses. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error that proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set up in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. I have seen servants upon the horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. He that diggeth the pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Whoso removeth stone shall be hurt therewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be in danger thereby. If the iron be blunt, and he doth not whet the edge, then must he put to more strength. But wisdom is profitable to direct.
So, in this sense, what Solomon is saying here is basically, listen, the Torah will give you all that wisdom that you need, or what the Most High allows you to have. If you just know these things, it directs you, it keeps you safe from all these things. Like you say, you just go cutting into a hedge and stuff, trying to cut and not knowing that there's a whole rattlesnake farm living up in there. Okay? You need to test it out. You need to poke to see if there's anything in there. Shake it. You know, well, with a long stick and something else. But anyway, just saying. He's giving you all what he's saying here. All the stuff that you're doing outside of Torah is going to be folly. It's worldly wisdom and things. And it shows that you don't have love for the Father. And this is why the Most High hates the things that you do. Okay? But go ahead, Elder.
Verse 11. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and the babbler is no better. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be, and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? The labor of the foolish worrieth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to go to the city. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princesses eat in the morning. Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princesses eat in due season, for strength and not for drunkenness. But much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. Curse not the king, cannot in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. For a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wing shall tell the matter.
So, once again, this is all telling you about why you should stay in the instructions of the Most High. Stay with His instructions, the Torah, that's showing love unto Him, and He'll show you all these other things that is not written in some book. Because you're showing that you love Him. And He's not hating you. Okay? So, all this stuff that we explained today, and, pretty much wrapping it up, I mean, I don't know what else to say about the love and the hate of everything, but I think it's pretty evident that the Most High is dealing with actions, not emotions. Okay? So, if you really love the Most High, like you say you do, you claim you do and stuff, then do according to what His Word says, His Torah. Keep it to yourself and help teach it on to elders. Make sure you're following it. And, put up prayers and for all, ask for forgiveness for all your iniquities and things. And have the Most High continue, ask Him to show you what you're doing wrong or what you need to strengthen in yourself. Because that just shows that He still loves you. Okay? But anyways, that's it for today. This is the finale of the Most High's love versus hippie love. And like I say, I hope you guys got some more understanding. I really do hope this helps you guys in your walk, and not only just y'all, but myself and things. And hope that we are able to continue to keep bringing out more lessons and things, and keep counting our blessings and things. Okay. So, anyways, I'm Ezekiel,
Brother Chris,
and we're saying shalom.
Shalom, Lord.